25th, the Danville Architectural Heritage Board special call meeting. First order of business is to review and approve the minutes of November 18th, 2020.
Move for approval.
I second.
Have a motion to approve, motion to second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Very good. All right. Third item, certificate of approval hearing, 127 North 4th Street. Want to bring us into the loop on
I
this,
do.
Joni?
Can you hear
and-
me? Can you hear me good?
Huh?
Okay, fantastic. The COA was.
Weren't you the one talking about being deaf just a moment ago?
Yes, I'm very deaf. So.
Okay. No, I was jerking you around.
And to be honest with you, I'm discovered I'm more deaf now that masks have appeared and I can't hear anybody at all.
We can't read lips.
I know, it's awful.
Yeah. Or it sounds like Charlie Brown's mother.
So now the COA for 127 North 4th Street was the signage and also the removal of the awning. Our staff approved the signage because it was within our parameters. The awning, I would recommend that you guys allow them to remove it. It is not a historical awning. I've got pictures of the building there some time ago. It did not have that awning in the 40s and 50s. The awning is in bad repair, quite honestly. And really, our design guidelines are very vague about the removal of awnings, but I would recommend that you guys approve that. Now, I have talked. I do. I will say I have talked to them. If they're going to replace that awning, they will have to come back and before us with the design.
Okay.
So.
I'll second.
Have a motion, have a second under the revised guidelines as highlighted by Ms. House. Any further discussion that we need to? Think the documentation's in place. Any further discussion? No further discussion. All in favor? Aye. None opposed? Thank you very much, Ms. House.
No problem.
Item number 4 is the COA staff review. If you'd like to highlight those 3 items, ma'am.
Certainly. There are 3 of those, 116 North 1st Street, 218 West Main, and 109 Larimore Lane. 116 North 1st and 218 West Main are just basic signage approvals. Our staff approved those for the installation of signage. They met the guidelines that we set forth, and they are within the size restrictions. So our staff approved those. The garage door replacement, they actually did not do anything to the opening. They just changed the doors that they were going to put up there. So I under the design guidelines that we have, it was applicable for me to approve that, which I did. Now, had they wanted to expand the opening or do any of that kind of work, they would have had to come before you guys, but it was perfectly within our design guidelines, so our staff approved that. I'll happily answer any questions on that if you all have any.
That's
No, my only comment is thank you for making our job so much easier. And I will also comment that the quality of the applications has gone up significantly.
Yes.
Like all the documentation and the photographs is greatly appreciated.
Sometimes that's, pulling a little hair to get to get that in there. So I have one that's now, she turned all that information in. I'm like, but you've got to have the sign sheet and I've got to have the design. And so we got that. So we're doing good.
all right on those 3. Agenda item number 5.
We are up to bat for our next round of certified local government funding. As you guys well know, we have undertaken the last 2 grants, a massive survey of everything from Main Street north up through Broadway. The last survey that we're undergoing right now, there were 70 structures included, and I'm well underway getting that one finished. We have approximately about 2.5 blocks left that need to be done. That's North 2nd and North 3rd Street, I believe, and a few structures on North 1st Street. It is about 35 structures from what I can tell. The basic outlay for that, if you guys look at your budget, it is a $3,500 grant, of which the city would have to pay $388 in cash to get that done. The majority of the match is from my time as staff. And so I recommend that we do that. That will finish up all of that survey. Everything will be surveyed between Main Street and Broadway. So that's a good thing.
So talk about a little bit of so once we get all this in place, where do you go from there?
You know, my recommendation would be that we look to expand the historic districts into those areas. It will not put any limitations on those owners of those properties, but what that will do is open up tax credits for them, and it also makes the property value go up. If you are in a National Register district, your property value goes up by 10 to 20%. And
Would that include Maple Avenue and Lexington Avenue?
no, sir. No, these are only between Broadway. Everything that's already in a National Register district has already been surveyed, other than we've resurveyed Main Street.
But you said expand, so that's where
Yeah, well, we would like to, you guys are already in a National Register district. Maple and a lot of Lexington Avenue and a lot of Broadway are in that. But when you get into the 200 and 300 blocks of East Broadway, those are not yet in a historic district.
No, I was just, I was not, maybe not concerned, but I was just, you know, you'd hate to see somebody destroy a historic home either on one of those streets. And I guess that's really where I'm coming from.
Well, the way to stop that, Mayor, is to get those streets inside the certified local government historic zoning overlay.
What's that take?
That takes the property owners being able to do that. You know, we already had one standalone. I guess Ms. Rhodes has put her house as a standalone landmark. If we can expand on that, then those properties would come under the protection of this board. So,
So I could, theoretically, I could take where we live and put in, okay.
all I need from you is a letter saying that you want to do that, and then we can move forward with that. Understand that a National Register district is different than the zoning overlay in which you all oversee. A National Register district just means that the National Park Service has highlighted these areas, that they are significant enough to be included on the National Register. What that does basically is open up tax credit availability to those property owners, and it also does make the income, their property value go up, but it does not give them the protection that what you all oversee as the zoning overlay. If you were to include Maple Avenue and some of Lexington Avenue in that zoning overlay, then somebody could not come into Lexington Avenue and tear the house next to you down. They would have to go through this board to get that done. Which I would highly recommend at some point, you know, we start talking to folks about that. What I would like to do is get this survey done, and then we can start those discussions with property owners. There has been some talk between myself and the Heritage Council and some other folks about making a large central National Register district and combining several of these districts as one overlaying district. But again, that doesn't give you any protection. To get that, you have to get within the zoning overlay for the certified local government.
And if I can follow up on his question, from the technology side, what program are we using to save all this stuff?
We are going to develop a program for that.
Okay, so right now you've got it sitting in a spreadsheet?
Yes, I have all of it digitally, all the forms digitally. The Heritage Council has it digitally. But when this is all done, I would like to get us, probably just do PDFs of a searchable database that we can include in the city's website.
Great, so everybody would be able to come into it. And if by some wild chance somebody wanted to come see them right now, they just have to show up and ask for you?
Yeah, yeah. And we have copies, there's copies of them here, but they're hard copies. Or I can send them, certainly, all they have to do is, I've got them digitally, and the Heritage Council's got those digitally. But at some point, we need to enter these into a database where you can put them on the city website under your all's auspice, where we say Danville Architectural Heritage Board, and then be able to search that, which should be pretty easy to do.
Because I was thinking of this morning, because we had originally asked to do something like that, and then COVID and everything kind of put a kibosh on it.
Well, that and the Heritage Council in UK got into some kind of contractual issue with the Archaeological Survey, and that got all muddied up. We did have that survey grant, that ARC surveyor. UK boogered that up. And I'm not really sure, to be honest with you, Mary, where that's at.
Fair enough.
Heritage Council's turned over some staff, and I can't really get access to what I need to get access from them right now, so. But ideally, we would want to keep that on the city level. So, and PDFs are pretty searchable. It shouldn't be a hard thing to do.
Thank you.
Hey, no problem. Anybody else?
Thank you.
We do need a recommendation,
Yes.
approval on this one to recommend it to the city commission.
I'll make a motion that we recommend it to the city commission as written.
Have a motion to recommend as written. Do I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Dana has a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Looks good. All right. Do we
All
have
right.
we have goals? I have to have goals now?
Well, I have provided some for you
Okay.
as a recommendation of, if you all will look over those. You know, given COVID the last year, we've had a very difficult time moving things around. So I kind of looked at what we had done in the past and what would be realistic for us this coming year. So these are basically my recommendations to you. I'm happy to add, subtract, do whatever you want to do with them, and then we'll turn those into the Heritage Council, and that's that.
No, I like them as written because it addresses all of our, what we're supposed to be doing as well as what education is such an ongoing thing. It should be our goal every year.
It is, and it's been very difficult, I will tell you. The one thing I did have a discussion with Heart of Danville, I'm on the design committee, they've asked me to sit on that. And I think this year, we're going to try in May to do some type of combined educational seminar with them for Preservation Month, if COVID allows. I mean, we're kind of at its mercy at this particular point. But even if we don't have an in-person thing, I think we could probably do something on Facebook or Zoom for folks that want to get in. And I've told them that I'm happy to come and talk about how the zoning overlay works in the historic districts as part of that. If we can get business owners to come, that'd be great. At least tune in to see how to deal with it, so.
So you're involved with the Heart of Danville?
I'm on as part of their committee, their design committee, and the reason I'm on that, Mayor, is in the past, they have put grants and things forward without really following the certificate of appropriateness. We had some problems with that, so they asked me to sit on that committee as a liaison.
Are we duplicating anything? Are they duplicating anything?
No, sir. Mm-mm.
So all this couldn't be pulled under one?
No, it's two separate things. I mean, basically, my goal there is when they talk about doing signage downtown to make sure that they understand how the overlay works. If they're going to award a grant like they did last year, we want to make sure that our certificate of appropriateness guidelines are followed within that grant framework. So,
Being followed?
yes, yes, they are.
Well, and I'm glad to have you out there because it's not a bad history, but there's a history of going in different directions because we didn't know the goals, or they didn't know the goals.
Well,
Whatever.
I don't want to see a business owner apply for a grant, get a facade grant, and then I have to go knock on their door and say, oh, by the way, you didn't follow the procedures.
right.
So this affords me the opportunity to get with those that are awarding the grant and say, make sure, guys, that this is in the paperwork for the grant. If the business owner has any conversation with me or needs some guidance, I'm happy to help them with that. So that's basically my role in that design
I
committee.
like the idea of having you as a liaison there, so it's a good idea.
So I'm doing my best. It seems, I'm trying to figure out how that all works, so.
That's why you make the big bucks.
Oh, yes, sir. But you're going to get us a raise today, so.
Yeah, John.
The chairman's supposed to bring that up, but whether he does or not, I don't know.
Tom.
Unfortunately, he can't. It's a special called meeting.
Darn.
Darn it.
Get that on the next agenda. Make sure that's on the next agenda.
So did you guys have any questions about those?
No, my compliments on them.
Yeah, well done.
Thank you. Do we need, okay, we're good with that then.
Okay.
I mean, you can do that. They can vote, make a motion if you want to, but we don't have to. It's just goals.
We don't have to?
Nah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
No, we
Well,
got
we've
one
got
more.
one more.
One more thing, Hank.
Annual report.
Yes, the annual report. I am required, as a part of our certified local government, to produce an annual report for the Kentucky Heritage Council. I got that into them. Basically, you guys can look it over. what it really does show is that business in downtown last year slowed down considerably, new businesses. That's 100% due to COVID. I've already seen an uptick the last couple months with businesses downtown, so I feel like we're moving away from this stagnation. I saw no problems with the way we operated last year. Our biggest fundamental problem now is to get the board filled back up, and I'm working on that. And I've talked to the mayor about it this morning. So other than that, we are doing everything that we are obligated to do. I think we're doing,
Excuse me for interrupting. Do you have vacancies on the board?
we have 2 vacancies on the board. Yes, sir.
Melody Quinn and Julie Wagner.
Yes, Melanie resigned, and I think Julie had a conflict with her position now, so.
With the county.
So, you know, that's my main concern, to get the board filled back up, to make sure that, you know, we'll have enough people to have meetings and in case something comes up with someone. But other than that, we're doing everything we're supposed to do. We're out there. I'm out there as a presence in the community, trying to talk to everybody about what we do and work with that. The Heritage Council was happy with the report. We have lost Vicki Berenberg, I will tell you. She's no longer the certified local government coordinator for the Kentucky Heritage Council. She took the job that I'm doing for the city of Frankfort. And currently, KHC does not have that position. So if you know anybody who's interested in that position, it's open currently. And I'm hoping they'll get that filled pretty soon, because I've got some things coming up I need to powwow with those folks about.
What's your phone number?
My phone number is 859-319-6101.
Oh, that's right. I've got a, okay.
Yes, sir, that's me. Did you guys have any questions or comments about the annual report?
No, ma'am.
Move adjourned.
Sir?
Easy enough.
If nobody has anything else, I'm happy to second.
That's right.
I have a second. Any further discussion on that? All right, all in favor? Aye.
Happy Easter.
Thank you all.
Thank you. This was beautiful, by the way. Loved it. Made me so
Good.
happy to not have to think for it. It was like, oh, look at that.
Well, they're pretty, I mean.